of course, following the filler last week. That, I mean, I think it was an okay filler, right? I think the filler was pretty okay. It was a beat episode, it was fan service, right? We see the girls playing, you know, beach volleyball and so on, right? I was disappointed, though, that obviously Ryukyu, right, freaking dragon waifu, she was not changing her clothing. That was disappointing to me, honestly. I was like, why is the dragon waifu still in her normal clothing? I'm honestly a little bit... I'm seriously, because, I mean, one thing they do, right, is that they give them different outfits to the characters, right? So you can sell more figurines too, right? So I was like, why is she in the same outfit for? I don't understand it. But anyway, decent field episode. Of course, after all the somewhat slow pacing, it wasn't fitting that good. But anyway, now we're here, of course, to watch, I guess, going home to Todoroki. So the preview, right, you're gonna visit, you know, best place. Yeah, Papa Endavor's amazing family place. And we're gonna have one of his sons, of course, Natsu, his name is. It means summer in Japanese, you know, like Natsu in fairy tale. And he altogether looks like Natsu. So but anyway, let's watch the episode. So 3, 2, 1, and go. But it's very, very Natsu here. Yeah, it's incredibly hot here. I know I say it all the time, but it's just it's incredibly hot here for the last 2 months. So it really feels like summer. So that's something that I can relate to being in this Endavour's fireplace. So yeah, who's gonna recap, you know, the fightings? Like, no, they're gonna recap stuff again, right? God damn it. Yeah, I mean, we had one filler episode. We're gonna recap what happened before that, of course. Don't forget about it. Yeah. Endavour giving them some advice, yada yada. I think it's the third or fourth time I've seen this specifically now. I think they had the exact same recap in the fifth episode. Like, honestly, did they? It's feeling very One Piece now. They're like, you know what, let's have like a recap about the last recap. It's like a recapception, where you just keep having recaps all the time. Here goes the opening though, yeah. I'm just turning on my freaking flux, man. I have my sleeping mode PC on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have this system, right? I have this, you know, internal system on computer, so that it changes displays, right, to all the colors for night. How's it work? But for night gaming, probably more for playing games on night. But it gets really weird in the morning. It turned off in the morning. But anyway, yeah, man with the mission. Get the opening again here, right? I always really love this band, right? I keep saying it every week, but I'm a huge Mad Mission fan. Listen to the music a lot, so I think my favorite song is probably Dead End in Tokyo. Or maybe Hero. Like inuyashiki, yeah, maybe Hero. Dead End in Tokyo, it's like that. I have to admit though that this is probably the weakest song they've done. So I can see some people being like, I think a lot of people hate this opening, right? I think it's a decent song, but I really I agree on that. I think it's fair to say that I do like their other songs more. Golden Kamuy, of course, were amazing openings, very opening wonder. So I do like the other openings better. That is true. But here we go, yeah. Here we go, baby. Top Hero Agency. I want to see more BURNIN, right? I want to see the hot waifu. You know, hot waifu. Come on out. Every time I think I'm alone on you. Come on, hot waifu times. But BURNIN is pretty fun though, yeah. He's a random criminal guy. This is Agent X with that. If you ever read the Deadpool spin-off. Yeah. So of course they keep trying to be the fastest, right? They can I'll be faster than Endavour. Yeah, hold your skills, be faster than me, right? But Endavour, of course, is the fastest. Yeah, Popeye is the fastest, man. Boys face again. Yeah, like good question from Endavour. Why are you carrying around cash on you? Like this is like He's just like, why are you doing this for? Like, when you want to get robbed, it's like, yeah, who still does this thing? Like, why are you getting a bank? Yeah, it's like a good point in hour. Like, why do you have a money cash bag with you kind of thing? Like, why, man? Why? I wonder that too. That being said, though, I feel it's pretty safe being a civilian in the world most of the time, because it's always like a hero beating the crap out of the bad guys, right? And honestly, I don't understand why people do so much crime. Isn't it kind of strange, actually? I mean, it's one thing you have the League of Villains, right? To have these like terrorist people and so on. That's one thing, right? The rebellion and so on, right? But why does this world have so many like basic criminals for? Like, why are there so many people in this city that are doing like, you know, basic, very, very like simplistic crimes? Because they always get beaten up by Endavour. So I feel he should like make them stop being criminals, because it's like, man, Endavor's like a big crap of you, right? It's gonna be like, yeah, like, it actually makes no sense whatsoever. Think about it, because the heroes are so goddamn good, right? So well, yeah, like, I mean, it. Ah yes, hot waifu. She's clearly the more support I feel of this agency. Yeah, keep reading this code book. Yeah, the Liberation Front. I mean, these people make sense. I can understand people trying to make a revolution, right? That makes perfect sense. I can live with that. But why are people doing petty crimes for? It's like, why? You're gonna get Endavour's gonna kick your ass. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's gonna be the family episode, right? It's gonna be about Todoroki, you know, his siblings. Yeah, Uneshan is. It's like, I wanna meet his friends! Yeah, he has friends? Yeah. What? Todoroki has friends now? It's like, God, that's kind of sad funny. Yeah, it's like, what? My little brother has friends? Here we go, yeah. Family dinner. Man, this is gonna be probably either really funny or really sad, I feel. You're gonna get home to their parents, you know, one parent, I guess, right? Then it's gonna be weird, man. It's gonna be a very awkward meet the parents episode, I feel, where Deku and Bakugo is gonna be like, what? So all the kids hate you and so on, right? I guess he's like dreaming of if his wife was in the mental hospital. Yeah, but I'm never there. See? Like, it's gonna be some weird, sad Endavour scene where he's like, why am my life horrible, you know? Maybe I shouldn't beaten up my wife and so on. Yeah, it's like, I regret. You know, we can see this flashback a lot, probably. Yeah, you could never be a hero. Yeah, we're gonna probably have this thing, I feel, 10 times over the whole episode now. Oh man, we're gonna re-keep... this flashback I can live with though, because it's obviously the important... When she burns his face, it's obviously the important flashback scene of Todoroki, right? Man, I should bring up my freaking Todoroki figure. God damn it, man. It's a Todoroki family, so... God damn it, man. Oh man. That's better. Gotta find a minute. Get up there. Oh man, of course. Forgot about that freaking Todoroki family episode. Fucking crazy, man. Yeah, so now he learns about visiting his mom, I guess, right? Yeah, because he didn't visit her for the first, like, what, 10 years? Something like that. They think this is something in between, I guess. Yeah, because, I mean, as I said earlier, clearly, you know, Big Sister is the one trying to, like, I'll say it, mend everyone, yeah. She's also the one trying to be like, we can all be friends, we can love each other, right? The sister is clearly the one trying to always, like, let's be a great family, right, yeah. And of course, Natsu hates him, as we know. Yeah. The sister definitely is one that forgave him the fast bully. Yeah, I feel the sister is the one that definitely is the first one that forgave him. Yeah, I think we should mention TOYA before, which is the oldest son, I guess, maybe. I do immediately think that it's gonna be correct. People's theories that it's, you know, Dabi, like that's. I say it immediately, yeah, like TOYA is like some lost son or something, and it's like probably, you know, the older burning guy that we had. People had a theory back in like episode 15 or something, like, you know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, yeah. Everyone was like, Todoroki's brother, right? Yeah, so it's probably gonna be that. It's probably the awkward razor. It's the most obvious conclusion to everything. The interesting episodes, a lot about Endavour's record, his interpersonal reflection over, you know, yeah. You know, when he's trying to become All Might and All Might being all like. Still kinda does it though. He's like, my super is like a plus ultra. He does, yeah. He's like, well, I'm also gonna be plus ultra though. So I felt he really kind of tried to just fill in those shoes of All Might anyway though. Definitely a melancholy episode, certainly, yes. Constantly like, him thinking about his bad, you know, behavior as a husband and so on, and father, and a lot of recap, but this episode fits to it. This episode has also a lot of recap and flashbacks, but it fits at least. Like, it's Endavour, you know, being sad and thinking about, you know, beating up his son and so on, yeah, so it's like, it actually fits though, his... Now it's more burning though. I need more of the hot waifus, man. See? She's so genki, man. Come on, she definitely is. Come on, she definitely is the agency's morale support. Come on. Yeah, today we beat him. Finally. I love Bakugo's new bandana though. Yeah, mask over his hair. So and of course, Todoroki tried to learn to, you know, ice, freeze, fire, move fast and forward right there. Yeah, you know, trying to improve his speed, right? By heating up and down. Yeah, it makes sense though. You know, great again, I guess. I feel Endavour's gonna keep beating the crap out of him. Nobody's gonna keep being faster, right? This is like another method of being mean to his son without, you know, beating him up, actually. It's lucky that so much people are in danger in the city, yeah. Bad wiring and so on. It's lucky that shit happens constantly so they can have these races. But this is what I mean, honestly. Like, who is trying to rob a bank with a gun in this world? Who's trying to like go with a gun and be like, I'm gonna rob this place with not a quirk, but like my gun, right? Who's gonna manage that? You know what I mean? Who's gonna like manage to do that? Yeah, but the reason though is that the bank people, right, might have some quirks too, like time traveling. Who knows, right? They could a gun feels very ineffective. I feel you're gonna just lose, right? These guys are gonna come and beat the crap out of you. I also felt there's an issue though with Academia, honestly, that the premise is that everyone has a quirk, right? Everyone's a mutant, so it would be really hard because I mean, when they did House of M in I guess like an Avengers / X-Men spin-off in 2004 in Marvel. In that universe, everyone's muted, and they have no petty crimes anymore because everyone has powers. So it's like you can't really rob a bank because you don't know if the bank people have like time traveling or freeze and so on. Right? So it doesn't really work. You can't really like do that, right? It's too dangerous to do petty crime basically because it's too random who you're gonna face, right? Man, I want to go home to freaking Endavour's home, man. They're clearly gonna end with getting home. Here we go. Super tight, like, let's go home, boys! My sister invited you. No, I'm there! Yeah, Bucket was like, I hate you people! I don't really want your place. We're not your friends. He's so sundress always, man. Gotcha! Stop being mean, yeah. Okay, here we go. Welcome, family, yeah, and of course, Oneshan is all like, yeah, I made people dinner! Yeah, you're gonna be the hot Oneshan, right? Yeah, Arara Oneshan, here we go. Bucket, of course, is trying to pretend they're not friends. And Deku, of course, is like, oh my god, so nice to meet you, Oneshan. I like, she's like, I've watched every fight, and... Yeah, I like when Deku's all embarrassed here. I'm sorry for punching your brother in the face. No. Bucky could handle this, man. His sundering is going to the max. He can't handle meeting a nice sister at all, right? Karage. This is gonna be friends. Yeah, this guy, these are my friends. This is a nice guy, this is a positive guy. Like, man, this is awkward, man. This is a very, yeah, very awkward episode. Generally, it feels like. Endavour to say anything, not to say anything. They're sitting there like, man, they're both very quiet. She's trying to be like, yeah, this is great, the meeting your friends, and the big sister is like trying to be nice, and the other two are like sitting there with the silence staring at them. Oh, nice. And Deku's going a Soma thing. Bugging was like, shut up, man! It's not that kind of anime! Yeah, shut up, man, come on. Oh, it's gonna go naked now? It's gonna go like... Yeah, come on. I'm expecting, the clothes to fly off here when they're... The sister's been the cook for the whole... Yeah, he's like, yeah, father wouldn't let you eat specific foods. Like a burn there, a burn! And it's like, yeah. Man, this is such a weird episode. This is a weird, cringe family meeting. Yeah, I will leave. It's like, they're like, where are we? Yeah. Those two guys are like, this is a weird family they have. I mean, think about it. I guess, both Deku and Batsugo has very lovable family, right? We've never seen his father, but, like, Deku, but yeah, with Bakugo, it's a very, hot mom, of course, but yeah, they're very, lovable parents and so on. Both of those guys really have no, I say, family issues, right? It's like, this is so weird. This is gonna be this like the weird comedy episode where they like cringe, sad, weirdness. It's just like. I guess I'm going over here now, the family backstory probably. Yeah, I feel they can like talk about it now, right then. The friends will hear it. Yeah, Yeah, hear about the mom. Yeah, they're gonna hear. I guess they hear anything, right? Like they're. She's in the mental hospital and so on, or something like that. Yeah, some kind of. I mean, she's a kind of mental, I suppose, right? You know, can he catch a cold? Because he got ice powers. I'm just dropping it there. Can she catch a cold? I mean, she got only ice power, right? You would imagine they're immune to cold weather. But yeah, really kind of sad mom letters. Bakugo is like, just stop having these weird family moments outside, and I don't want to hear about your mom and dad, and like... Nice. Bakugo is his own weird friendship way. Your family is weird, yeah, you know, let me help you with that, yeah, like... See, he has some kind of weird Sundra take on the, you know, the family issues here. Yeah, not from Deku here with some... advice, I guess, too here. Nah, this is a Deku thing. Coming in, you're so kind. Yeah, and that was like one word all episode. Oh, here we go. It's like a ceremony, so, you know, he's bringing food to his dead son, right? Yeah, so... Did he kill his son then? That's the question, right? Did he kill Toya by his you know, hardcore training, right? Did he like... who knows? Maybe his son committed, you know... Maybe Toya... He looks like, of course, like his other son. Who knows? Maybe he... of course, that's how it ends. Of course, it ends with revealing the son, Toya, and his... let's go to the preview here. But, yeah, so... obviously, Toya had a classic, you know, Japanese... how do I call it? The, you know, like the altar, right? Yeah, like this death altar place, right? And that's why he was bringing food, right? Bringing karaage, right? To put on his son's... it's like an offering, right, to your son's spirit, right? But, man, yeah. You know, giving how Endavour is kind of a hardcore dad, right? You could imagine the most plausible, I would say, scenario is that he did suicide, right? You know, yeah, did himself. That's like that would be my, you know, first guess, right? Probably likelier that Endavour killed him. I mean, he drove him to do it then, but like, I would say that's likely, right? I would say it's likelier that he would, kind of like with mom, right? You know, mental crazy. That being said, though, it's probably gonna be Dabi, right? Because people have had that. I mean, Dabi's in the ending. I mean, it doesn't help that we've seen Dabi be like, Endavour! And so on, right? Earlier in season, and he's clearly here in the ending and so on, right? And yeah, people had a theory that Dabi was Todoroki's brother for like, I don't know, 5 years or something. So, yeah, I've heard that theory a lot, right? So, oh, actually, it's more after ending? Okay. So now probably Dabi appears here. It's gonna be super obvious it's Dabi then. He's Toya if he appears now. Or there's someone on the list. Some bad guy. New symbol Endavour. Oh. Okay, a new bad guy appears. Yeah, more of Toya. No, the villain has some kind of bandage power in the preview. Okay, no, the villain has some kind of bandage power. So that is not... yeah, some random new bad guy appears, I guess, in the ending there. But let's review it. Let's go back to Dead Sun Scene. Dead Sun Scene. Dead boy, man. So of course it brings the food right to the altar. So I'm checking this thing, man. I realized yesterday that this sofa, because it's so hot, it loses its color and ruining my clothes. So I had to put something over it. God damn it. But anyway, yeah, Dead Sun, man. Freaking lost, one son hates him, well I guess two son hates him, but one son really hates him, right? The other son is like, maybe I should forgive him or something, and then the third son is dead, maybe. I really do think it's Dabi, honestly. Like, I think it's Dabi, right? It's just generally how it's written. Just that we see, talk about it first time, but I see it like this, right? When Dabi was introduced in Season 2, we had the firepower. There were so many theories. Oh, he has the firepower, right? And we know that, Todoroki has a bad father and so on. Probably kicked out his son or whatever, right? So it's been a lot of theories that, it's Dabi. Is this his brother? But at that time, we didn't know he had, this lost brother, right? So, but now then we have this dead brother. So yeah, it might be Dabi, right? Definitely fits that. Another reason why, of course, is that this season, and also previously, but this season, we have, of course, when Dabi is working with Hawks, right? Dabi talks to, Endavour. It's like, oh, Endavour, and they have this meetings, right? It's like, hey, Endavour, and so on. And obviously in the ending, like it just, it seems to be pretty obvious that it should be Dabi, generally from a narrational standpoint, right? Without even having too much to go to it, but except in the ending, why otherwise is Dabi the main guy? Because he's a guy in the center, right? Yeah, the other bad guys who sits there in the background talk at it, but in the background, right? And this time's Dabi in the front, right? And it's like a Hawk and Endavour ending and Dabi, right? So it's like, yeah, who else is it gonna be, right? I mean, it feels very obvious from everything around the episodes that it's gonna be Dabi, and it's probably some opening scene too, right, with Dabi as well, right? A little bit at least. So it feels like, yeah, who else would it be? Given, of course, all the other, story elements around it, right? But otherwise, if we assume it's not Dabi, they actually lost a son. I think that, as I mentioned during the reaction part, I think that the straight up, theory I would have, right, is that he, deleted himself, right? Because, given how Todoroki is, punished around by his father, right? Maybe the TOYA is the oldest son, maybe? I don't know the age there. I don't know who's the... I mean, Todoroki is the youngest, right? Shota, I mean. Sorry, they all enter, yeah. Shota-kun, he's the youngest, right? But... Shota-kun, he's the youngest. But... maybe TOYA was the oldest. Right? Harder metal than the first one, perhaps. But yeah, I mean... Assuming it's not Dabi, right? He probably then deleted himself. I think so, right? Pushing, with the... I push his wife, right? Push the other siblings and so on, right? The other kids. Maybe he couldn't take it, right? And he, did something like that. That would make the most sense. That would make the most sense. Assuming that it's not... Because obviously, if it is Dabi, he didn't, die. So, yeah. But if he's dead, I think that makes the most sense, right? It doesn't make sense that Endavour actually would have killed him in like a hardcore training or something. I'm really buying that. Not really buy that, but obviously, Natsu, right, the older brother, he clearly blames. They had early episode. He clearly blames Endavour, right, for like hurting TOYA. So it's somewhat it's Endavour's fault, right, that he lost his older son, right. So it's probably no accident. It's probably no like. I mean, it could be something completely random, like he got hit by a car or something. You know what I mean? It could be something like that, but that doesn't make any sense. Because you know how he always trying to like... You know how Natsu is always trying to like, throw in some burns, right, at his father. He's always trying to, drop in some, burns in his father's face, right, and kind of come as it stings him, right? So, yeah, it makes no sense that TOYA would have died from like an accident. Assuming no accident. I mean, maybe accident like beating him too much, but you know what I mean? Like not like a car accident, no truck couldn't, right? Doesn't make any sense. So I think that doing that stuff makes the most sense. But if we assume it is Dabi though, wouldn't he just run away from home then? So why doesn't Dabi think he's dead then? But maybe he did, maybe he tried, right? Maybe he tried to delete himself, and by doing that, he got those weird scars. You know how Dabi looks, he has this weird face thing, right? So maybe he tried to do something weird, and they thought he died, and then he actually survived or something, and he like escaped his coffin. I don't know, but that may be right. Maybe he tried to do it, and then he kind of was left disfigured. I mean, that makes sense though. That's like kind of how he got disfigured, and why, of course, I think he's dead, right? Because you know how he looks, right? He has this weird scar in his face. They're kind of like burn marks. Also, people always thought he was Todoroki's brother from the beginning, but yeah, got his weird, you know, burning face marks and so on. But what if he got them trying to, you know, delete himself, and then he, you know, survives somehow, and people think he's dead, right? I suppose so. In one way, though, I mean, because he has this weird thing that his hand is like stitched together, right? Maybe he's actually like a zombie somehow, right? Maybe someone built him up again. Maybe he did die. Maybe TOYA actually did die, and then someone like rebuilt him or something, like a zombie fire guy or something. Or maybe his firepower makes he has some healing power, or whatever. But anyway, let's go on to the other episode. Yeah, it was a really weird meet the parents. Of course, Oneshan is like the, you know, the bright episode. She's all like, "Hey everyone, friends!" She's the one trying to be this. Man, I feel sorry for poor Oneshan. She's trying to be this like homey wife, being like, "Hey, everyone, come to my house. I love you. Oh, you like Deku. Oh, I love your fight scenes." she's coming in and like, "Oh my god, Bakun, you're so cute. Oh, kamuy, you know, let me hug you, boys." So yeah, she's coming in and trying to be this like super nice woman, like, "Oh, you like my food, and yeah, we're gonna have a great family moments," and so on, right? Yeah, she's really trying to, of course, be friends with everyone, right? Super excited that that Shoto-kun has friends and so on, and then everyone's like super cold, and it's like, "I don't want to talk." Yeah, and then Endavour and Natsu are just mean and so on. My God, it's an awkward episode. It's like an awkward cringe comedy episode. You kind of, you know, it kind of feels like that. How do I say? Yes, some kind of like a Western, you know, meet the parents, some kind of weird cringe comedy movie, definitely. Like, they're getting home here, right? Try to talk. No one says anything, and she's all like, "Let's be friends." Yeah, and this poor woman is trying to be like, "This is my brother. You wanna say something?" He's like, "Matsu." Yeah, and then he just burns on his father's face, and it insults his father every time. And of course, Bakugo is all Sundra, being like, "Oh, you people are idiots. This is not how you solve family drama." I kind of like that Bakugo kind of tried, you know, to interfere there later on, right? They picked up the dishes, and he kind of dropped a line there. It's like, "This is not how you know, you resolve your family issues." Yeah, Bakugo is coming in there with some wisdom there, he's like trying to be a friendshipy somehow. Of course, he can't really communicate in a good way, so you know how he is. He kind of drops it in like a weird, yeah. He kind of comes in there and it's like, "Let me tell you how to be a good family," you know what I mean? It's like he's like coming in here and being like, "Let me explain to you how to be a better, you know, siblings or whatever." But yeah, funny episode in that sense, kind of cringe comedy. And then of course it has the sad moments with, you know, mom. Yeah, you got this weird, you know, you get the letters from mom, right, sitting in her. So it's like a weird, sad episode with some weird comedy, right? Because it obviously has mom too, and mom is sitting there all sad in her, you know, starting meeting her son a bit, right? Writing him letters. And they're very kind of basic letters, right? She's like, "Oh, it's cold. Don't get a cold, son." And yeah, so she clearly has some mental trauma still, right? Like, she doesn't really... Honestly, not to be that guy, but it reminds me of my grandmother. But my grandmother is old now, she's almost 90, right? But it reminds me of one of my grandmas, because she's kind of like that too. She didn't used to be like that, like 20 years ago. She would have, you know, long conversation with you know, very interesting ideas or whatever, right? But these days she's kind of like, "Oh, it's cold, yeah, it's warm." Because it reminds me of my grandma, yeah. She is very, very like basic, like, "Oh yeah, it's hot today." Okay, yeah, it's like weird sweater, like the conversation kind of stops at that point, right? It feels like his mom is portrayed like that, you know, like she's like, she can communicate, but her communication is kind of like, it's very, very simplistic, right? "Oh, it's cold, it snows." He's like, "Yeah, wear clothes, it's cold." Like, very, very like, you know, Like she has trouble, you know, in her brain, so to speak, right? Trouble to kind of, I guess like trouble to, what would you call it? For an old person, it would be like Alzheimer's, right? But for a young person, I mean, his mom is like, what, 40 at most? For a young person, for a younger person, it'd probably be more like, I don't know what it is. I don't remember what it's called. I should know what it's called. But it basically is when people have issues to, you know, create complicated sentences or like complicated mental images or whatever. Yeah, and usually those people have problem with abstract thinking then. Which some people have because of they're born like that, right? And some other people have it because of, like for example, then some PTSD or some mental trauma, right? So in that sense, she sounds kind of like, you know, I guess one way you could say it's like a childish way, right, to look at the world. Yeah, it's very, very simplistic. That can happen, right, from some PTSD drama and so on. But I think that's the point, probably. Right? Like her brain is still kind of like dysfunctional. Yeah, like it's very like it's cold. But on that being said, though, I do honestly wonder. I honestly do wonder though, can she get a cold? Can he get a cold? I mean, they both have like freaking ice power, so I don't know if he even can get a cold, right? I mean, they both have like freaking, you know, ice bodies, especially her because she's pure ice, right? Like, can they even get a cold? And of course, early in the episode, we had a lot of Endavour reflecting. So, while I like to complain in this anime, saying, oh, it's too much bad pacing, it's goddamn many flashbacks, you know, and so on. This episode also had a lot of flashback in the beginning, right? Like, it was a flashback episode that looks right. But, I don't know. In this episode, I think it really works, though. Like, honestly, this is the episode where I think if this whole season of, you know, flashback deluxe, right, and recaps of scenes and so on, and this episode certainly had that too, but here it works though. This is the episode where I feel that the flashback and all the recaps is actually fitting perfectly to the story, right? Because the first half is mostly Endavour, of course, reflecting over, oh, maybe I should have beaten my son and my wife, and my older son is dead, I guess, that comes to the end with TOYA, but he's not reflecting over his dead son, I guess, but that comes to the end as a reveal, right? So, yeah, many episodes this season has had too much recap, right? Or too much flashbacks of old. And the thing is that I want to say this thing. I'm talking about flashbacks in this season. I'm talking about, you know, recap flashbacks, not, you know, new flashback, but like this episode shows the, you know, when the, you know, the mom burns his face, right? So that's like a flashback really known, right? So it's like, you know, recap flashback, right? That has been a curse this whole season, right? Objectively be bad in this season, those kind of scenes, because it's a padding out the anime. But in this episode, I think they're perfectly fine, right? Because they actually fits the narration here to a large extent, right? He's Endavour, he's reflecting on what happened, thinking about the time, you know, he pushed down his wife, and that time when he was puking, and so on and so on. It actually is like, this really fits for the character, and then going to home and so on. That being said, though, it still is too much of it, though. I think that's fair to say. I think it fits a lot better than what it did previous episodes, but it definitely still is like, I don't know, 5-6 minutes of this flashback, right? Maybe it could have been like 3 minutes. So it still is like, you know, it's a lot of them, right? It still is too much, I would say, but it's more fitting, and it's more, this reflection on part of Endavour trying to kind of decide what to do, and, you know, having some guilt and etc. right over his, you know, earlier part of his life, right, when he was younger, and, you know, beat up his wife and so on, or etc. or similar to that. Yeah, like that. It fits more, right? What I wish they would do, honestly, is that they could have done older scenes, right? That would have been the perfect thing, of course, if they actually had new flashbacks, right? Like other scenes where. But that's the thing, though, that is very. I think that's the thing that people always wonder about with Endavour. People claim X or Y or Z in the anime nor the manga. I don't think so. This never really explains that. But it's like, did he ever touch his wife like that more than once? Was it only this time when, you know, at this classic flashback, right, in Todoroki's childhood thing? Or did it happen every day? It's never really, you know, explained. And again here, by, you know, doing the same flashback, right, they don't really add to that. They could have shown other, you know, new flashbacks, right, of them maybe arguing at the kitchen table or something. So they have some, that's kind of what I mean, it's potential there to kind of add on that scene when maybe, you know, she's angry at him with her eating, maybe he tries to take her on a date or something, right? So when she gets angry at her and they fight or something, or they could have added some extra fleshing out this flashback, right? Some other altercation between these two parents, right? And showing him as a worse husband or as a better, perhaps, depending on where they actually want to go with it, right? What I mean, but they could have done either way there. And instead, they just kind of go with the same flashback, right? So it definitely is like, man, I think it's fine, this episode. But I do wish that they actually would have added new stuff, right? And I could have, fleshed out the relationship. One thing I think they could have really added, which I would love to see, even if it wasn't in the manga, but like a filler adding out, I suppose, is that they could add when they were younger. That could be something. But they could add out, how they dated, right? How he met her. They obviously have like a quirk power marriage thing going on, and she knew that, so they kind of married, for power, right? But I think that could have been interesting. You're seeing a few minutes of them being in their early 20s, I guess, and she gives birth to maybe, the first, which maybe it's TOYA, or maybe it's Unishan. But you know what I mean, like that could have been some, that could have been there instead. That would be really interesting if they add a little bit of their first marriage or how they power broke, right? I mean, given that they are married by, quirk powers, maybe there's some agency, right? Maybe there's some connection, maybe some kind of system how you meet. Oh, I'm a fire, she's a nice woman, right? I guess in this kind of society, just like I have in real life in Japan, right? You have this like marriage, kind of, because the other companies in Japan have to, meet a spouse, right? So I could imagine they will have some kind of quirk spouse meeting, right? And so I think, honestly, I would like to see that. Him going as an 18-year-old to the agency for quirk marriage, right? And they're like, so you're a fire guy. What wife do you want? Do you want to meet some? He's like, a nice wife. Could be interesting, right? So I think they could have added a few minutes, like kind of, filler flashback, and just adding out some random scenes together. I think it would be interesting to see at least. So that in my opinion would be the best thing, kind of, giving up that stuff, right? But here we are. But generally, I think it's a good episode. Obviously, the reveal at the end is interesting. Is Toy actually dead? Is it Dabi or not, right? I think it is Dabi, because it keeps showing Dabi all the time, it probably is him. But anyway, seeing it tonight, of course,